Hello there you beautiful people, and welcome to this video where we're going to be finishing off our discussion of how to delete files and directories using the command line. So in this video you're going to learn how to use the rm and rmdir commands to delete folders, and by the end of this video you'll know pretty much everything you need to know about deleting files and folders using the command line. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so let's start off by creating a folder in our home directory called del folder. So if I use the mkdir command and type del folder, we'll see that we created a new folder inside our home directory called del folder. Okay, so let's remove it. Okay, now all we have to do actually to remove it is use the rm command again. So if I use rm and use del folder and press enter, we actually get an error. Now, this is because, yes, we will use the rm command, but in order for the rm command to remove folders, we need to give the rm command the R option. Now, the R option stands for recursive or recursively. Now, if you delete something recursively, that means that you'll delete that thing and everything else inside of it. So if we try that now, rm/r and then del folder, okay, and press enter, we'll see now that del folder has indeed been deleted. So let's make it again. Let's make del folder, okay, and let's make some more folders inside of it. So we're going to use brace expansion for this now, okay. We can do make directory del folder, and inside there we're going to make 3 folders called delete me 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so if I press enter and take a look at del folder, we can see we've got delete me 1, delete me 2, and delete me 3. So that's how this worked. It made delete me 1 inside of del folder, then it made delete me 2, then it made delete me 3. Okay, so that's brace expansion again. Okay, so let's make some files inside each of those. So if we touch del folder, delete me 1, 2, and 3, and then inside of there, make file 1, 2, and 3. And now if we take a look, we can see in delete me 1, we've got file 1, 2, and 3. In delete me 2, file 1, 2, and 3. And in delete me 3, we've got file 1, 2, and 3. So now, if we go ahead and if we just look, we've got del folder here. We've got del folder in our home directory. Now, if we use rm with the R option to delete that del folder, remember, to delete something recursively means to delete it and everything else inside of it. So if I use rm with the R option and give it del folder and press enter, we'll see that del folder has indeed been deleted, and so has everything else inside of it. Now, one thing you might notice is that the rm command, when it did that, it actually didn't give us any warning. It just went ahead and deleted everything inside the del folder. Okay, now because of this, rm with the R option is a very powerful command that should be dealt with very carefully, especially when you start using the star wildcard as well. All things can go wrong, and you can find yourself just deleting everything and not being able to get your files back, which is sad times. So for example, if I do go ahead and do that now, if I just delete that on everything on our system right now, I'm not going to do it, I'm joking. So one way to make the rm command safer is actually to give it the I option. Okay, so the I option stands for interactive, and this will make the rm command ask you interactively whether to delete each file or not. Now at the moment we don't have the del folder anymore, so to make del folder and delete me 1, 2, and 3 all at once, I'm going to use the mkdir command, give it the P option, which allows you to create an entire path, and do del 2 and tell it create delete me 1, 2, and 3. So if I do that, actually not del 2, sorry, del folder. Okay, then so if I do that, I get del folder. Inside there, delete me 1, delete me 2, and delete me 3. Kind of cool, right? Now let's create the files inside there. So del folder / delete me 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to make file 1, 2, and 3 inside each of those. And inside each of those, we've got our files back. Okay, so there we are. Didn't take too long at all. We've got our files back. By the way, can you see just how much quicker this is than pointing and clicking? We created all of those files without ever even needing to enter the folders. We just created them right from our home directory. so cool. So now if we try to delete everything, again, try and delete del folder by giving the rm command the R and I options. Okay, it doesn't matter which order you do it. So we give it del folder. We'll see that now it's asking permission for us to actually delete things. So it's saying, can I go into del folder? Let's tell it yes. Okay, it will now say, can I go into delete me one? Let's say yes. And can I delete file 2? Yes, you can. Can I delete file 3? Yes, you can. Can I delete file 1 inside delete me 1? Yes, you can. Can I remove the directory delete me 1? Yes, you can. Can I go into delete me 3? You see, it's not particularly doing it in any order, but it's asking you before it does it. Okay, so let's say yes. You can delete that. You can delete that. You can delete that. Now let's leave file 2 inside delete me 2. Okay, so it's going to delete me 3. Go into delete me 2. No, don't delete file 2. Yes, delete file 3. Yes, delete file 1. No, don't delete the entire folder. No, don't delete del folder. And that's it. Okay, so now if we look inside del folder, we should see delete me 2 and file 2 still left over. Okay, so that's quite cool, right? You can control what the rm command deletes. But this is kind of tedious, right? Saying yes and no every time. It's, if you had a lot of files, that would really be a massive hassle. So fortunately, there's another command that's specialized for only removing directories that are empty. Now, because this command only removes empty directories, this means that you can tell it to delete everything. It will only delete the folders that are actually empty, which means you'll never delete a file accidentally. And that command is called the rmdir, the remove directory command. So to see the remove directory command in action, first let's go ahead and delete everything inside del folder. So remove recursively del folder. And there we are, del folder has been deleted. Now let's go ahead and create some folders. So we're going to use mkdir with the P option to create, let's call it del folder, and then folder 1 to 3. That's another way of doing it, by the way. You don't have to type 1, 2, 3. You can just do 1.3. And if we look in del folder, we've got folder 1, folder 2, and folder 3. Okay, and let's put 10 folders inside folders 1 and 2, but not in folder 1, not in folder 3. So let's do touch del folder, folder 1, 2, and then put inside there file 1 to 10.txt. So if we look inside folder 1, we've now got 10 text files. We look inside folder 2, we've got 10 text files, but in folder 3, we don't have any. Okay, so now that we've got 3 folders inside del folder, folders 1 and folder 2 have 10 files in them, but folder 3 is completely empty. Now, if I try to do remove directory, and I say remove directory del folder / everything, okay, what we're saying here is delete everything inside del folder, delete the empty folders inside del folder, basically. So if I do that, we'll see it failed to remove folder 1 because the directory is not empty. It failed to remove folder 2 because the directory is not empty, but folder 3 has indeed been deleted. So just so you know, this wouldn't have worked if we'd just done remove directory of del folder without putting the star. So you see we've got the star asterisk wildcard here. If we just had remove del folder, the shell will say, but del folder's not empty. How can I just delete it? But what we did is we said remove everything that is inside del folder that is empty. Okay, so we had to have the star there to make that work. So that's just something to bear in mind. Okay, so as one final challenge, in the last video we created a project folder that had a whole bunch of other folders inside with like a bajillion files, okay? You must remember this from like the last few videos. Now what I want you to do is I want you to try and delete all of those folders and directories and files and stuff in one command. Okay, so that's your challenge. That's your challenge. You've got to try and delete that entire project folder with everything inside of it, all the thousands of files in one command. So pause the video now and see if you can figure it out, figure out how to do it, then come back and see how you did. Did you manage it? If so, well done! You learn super quick. So here's how I do it, okay? Now the folder was called project, right? It was on the desktop, so let's shift there. It's called project. So we want to delete everything. So we don't want to use the rmdir command because that only deletes empty directories. We want to use the rm command instead because we want to delete directories that have stuff in them. Okay. Now we want to delete the project folder and everything inside it. So we need to delete recursively. So to do that, we're going to use the R option. Okay, and putting that all together basically means we'll just do remove recursively the project folder. Or if I was in my home directory like this, I would do remove recursively desktop/project. Okay, just giving the path to that folder. And when I press enter, as if by magic, however many folders there were, the thousands of files have been deleted. How absolutely epic is that? So that'll just about wrap up our discussion of deleting files and folders using the command line. So in this video, you learnt that the rm command needs the R option in order to delete folders, and the R option stands for recursive deleting. So to delete something recursively means to delete that thing and everything else inside it, and this is why you need to be especially careful when using the R option, because you can end up deleting stuff that you didn't want to. Now, one way to make that a bit safer is to use the I option for the rm command, which will allow the rm command to be interactive when it does its deleting. So this is where you can say yes or no to each file or folder being deleted. But the best thing is there's not really much you can rely on. Just be careful when doing your deleting, okay? But the safest of all options is to use the rmdir command, which will only delete folders that are empty. So if you just want to do a bit of tidying up and delete folders that don't have anything in them, you can use the rmdir command and rest assured that you won't delete any data. So coming up next, we're going to discuss how you might copy and paste files and directories using the command line. So instead of cutting our file tree, we're going to make it grow. So for all that goodness, I'll see you in the next video.